number?
No, actually,
I'm serious for a number.
Actually, I had to pay like.
Okay, let's look at your homework questions. And now I'm also gonna ask you if anybody have a license for the TI-84C, because my license is gonna be finished in 2 days, and supposedly they have a license there. I need a license for Inspire, so check your when you bought the Inspire and when you buy your TI-84, do they have a license come with it, so I can put it in here so we can all use it. I can show you what happened with TI Inspire. My Inspire is already expired, so I cannot show you how to use Inspire, but I can teach you how to use 84. So today we're just gonna go through the calculate question and go through all the things here. And so when the object at rest, I'm gonna call on you guys, and you're gonna tell me what is it. So object at rest. Let's start with somebody. Let's start with Hong.
5 and 8.
5 and 8, that's correct. So x equal to 5, and t is equal to 5, and the t equal to 8, and then you're gonna say v of t is equal to 0. That's the first thing you will put. You will get credit, even though you might not think v of t is equal to 0, but put that down. That's gonna help you justify your cases. Okay, so that's because at 5 and 8, that's where velocity is equal to 0, because exactly the output is 0. Let me ask you B. Luca, what do you think the answer is?
So it's -2 at the bottom, or -1 at the bottom, and then the area on the top is 1 plus. Okay, I can't do this in my head.
Oh, I can do it, Mr. Yang.
Okay, so Andrew?
I think it is 4.
4 is correct, and I'm going to show you why it's a 4. But please write down this is equal to 4. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to count them. It's AP counting.
Oh, 6 on. Oh yeah, 80 counting.
1, 2, 3, and this one should be 3 over 2 because that's a triangle with a base 3. This one should be 1/2. So total is going to get you 5. And then this part is going to be 1/2. That's what Luca said. That's equal to -1, sorry. That's going to be -1 here. So that's going to be 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. So that's 4. Okay. C. Let's call somebody. Asim?
11, because from 0 to 5, you count it and you add 5 and extra, the position by 0 is 5.
Yep, you have to pay attention to initial condition. So please write this down. I want you to write down on your paper, on your notes. Must, if it's a position, especially final position. How many of you guys got 6 instead of 11?
I got 6.
Okay, so here's the reason why. Because you didn't pay attention to initial condition. So if I would do it, I'll write down here. I will say that's initial condition. So you're gonna, from now on, every question on FRQ is gonna have initial condition. Pretty much 5 out of 6 problem usually have initial condition. You have to pay attention to initial condition, especially positions. Position must include initial conditions because you really care about where which point you start. So must including initial condition. And that's something that's very, very important. Now, where you don't including the initial condition? Well, if I talk about total, whereas total distance and displacement, you don't need it. Don't include initial condition. Why? Because the total distance basically from what time to what time you travel, how much is it? It didn't really care where do I start. So if you're on a track and field, you can start somewhere. They just want a total distance between 2 and 5, between 2 seconds and 5 seconds. It doesn't matter if you started at starting lineup. Does that make sense? So you don't have to including initial condition. So that's the things that you have to pay attention to. So t equal to 5. So this is one. Now, how to correctly write it to get credit? S0, which is initial condition, which is that's a low bound. of 0 to 5 of v of t, and that's how do you write it. A lot of you guys don't write v of t. A lot of you write down like this, 0 to 5. I see on a lot of your test paper. That's not correct. You want an integration, which function? You have to address that to the people who grading it. So that's going to be 5 plus, no, 6. Yeah, 5 plus 6. So 5 plus 6, that's equal to 11. The total distance, oh, by the way, you need to say this is total displacement between t equal to 1 and t equal to 6.
I don't, wait, why is the position equal to 11 instead of 10?
I got 10.
I agree with you.
No, 11.
I got 11. So this is 5, right? 6 is between 0 to 5.
Earlier we did the 1 to 5, now it's equal to,
No, earlier we did 1 to 6.
yeah, 1 to 6.
So there was a counterpart, there was a canceling part.
Oh, so does this include 0 then?
Yeah, 0 is fine.
They're gonna take away.
0, the position is 5.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this does include 0. Okay.
Okay, then find total distance travel between 0 to 8. Maria?
I have a question about these. Doing the fundamental theorem calculus thingy work too?
Did you get 11?
Yeah.
Yep, then that's fine.
Would that work for the, like, showing the work part?
Yep, that's fine. Total distance. Sephora? Yeah. Is it 10?
That's about 10.
Between 0 to 8, so it's going to be between 0 to 8, v of t, and the absolute value dt. So basically, if absolute value, total distance is going to be absolute value. So it's going to flip this upwards. So this one is going to end up to be, I think, 4, and this one's 6. So 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. So 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. But you must including this part for showing on the people who grading the AP exam. You cannot write 10. Just like Luca the other day turning paper, just write down answers 168. I have no idea where 168 come from. They don't give you nothing. But if you write down the work and you got 167, they will give you on the work. So please write down the work. The answer is kind of like relevant, but it's not so relevant as much as you think. So the people who graded is going to look at your answer 168, but do you have the right work? Now, if you have 167, do you have the right work? If you have the right work, they still give you credit. They just say the kid just don't know how to press the calculator. And that's okay. That's fine. An object speeding up or slowing down. Jake?
I said speeding up.
Speeding up? Why? Did you justify? Do you write anything else?
So the point of velocity, like I think the velocity was negative, and then if you take the derivative that which is the acceleration, the slope was positive.
So velocity is not negative at 2. It's actually positive. It's actually positive.
Oh no, yeah, sorry, positive. Yeah.
Okay, so so you can write positive like saying greater than 0 like that. And you can say a of 2 is greater than 0. And this, you can say that's a slope of v of t. And you can even say v of 2. You can do extensive, even do a better job. Is v of 2 is roughly 1.5. Is between here. So it's between 1 to 2. So it's 1.5. A to 2 is roughly 1/2. Now, this one, if you calculate wrong, it's very risky. So I will write down just this. That would be good because you're going to say a of t is greater than 0, b of t is greater than 0, therefore speeding up. Yes.
If I were to just say that the slope is positive and it's above the x, would that be a valid explanation?
They want you to write down in terms of math. They don't want you to write down in terms of the language. They want a math language and a supposed language. That part, I don't know. I've never been a grader. So the grader is kind of boring. They just sit like 100,000 teacher in the hotel. And they give you 250,000 paper for you to grade. You grade the same question over and over and over again. But they give you free tequila.
They do.
You can get drunk at a nighttime after you grading. But you really need it. If you're grading 256,000 people, You need to be drunk.
I feel like that should just be included.
You need to be drunk. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So for D, it's total displacement because it says it doesn't have the absolute value around the VFT.
Yes. Exactly. Then we're gonna talk about this one, but before we talk about this one, let me just go through the answer really quickly, and let me ask people to give me answers.
Oh, I
And
call that.
this part, okay. This part is just analyzing the graph, so this part is actually easy homework. You can probably say there's 16 questions, there's so much homework. There was not.
That's what I thought. I had really procrastinated and I did it.
No, like, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so let me see if I can do this way. Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, so this one, if you look at S of t, right? Now let's graph V of t. But how do I graph V of t?
Take a derivative.
How do I do that?
You
The slope is negative.
you pay attention where the slope is negative, and you pay attention to where it's above and below the x.
Okay, slope. So the slope is always what?
Negative.
Going
Negative. So this graph has to be below x-axis.
at all times.
Yes, at all time. And that's very easy to deduct the reasoning. But also, if you see in the middle part, it's very close to 0. You got negative, very close to 0, and then go down to negative more again. So that's also can give you a good indication of this happening. So that's very close to 0, but it's not exactly reached 0. So they're really clear that it's not close to 0. So the answer must be D. The next one, 2. Let me call Will. What'd you get here?
I got a.
A is correct. Some people get the 0, but 0 is actually positive. You want it to be absolute value because speed is positive. So speed is positive, so you make it a -3 becomes +3. I hear between how many times particle change directions? Yes, Maren?
Okay.
A is correct. Where?
Um,
Where?
At where? At 2.
At 3.
Oh, 3? Oh, yeah, 3. Oh.
Good. So if she fix it, that's fine. Okay. So number 4 is a little bit more challenging. Let me call Mina.
I didn't do the homework.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got it in this video.
Darn.
I know I got this one right.
Luca. Okay, fine. Luca.
Yeah.
Luca, it says slowing down 2 to 3. Why is that though?
Because it's like, I don't know, I always think of it in terms of the slope and whether it's above the x have to agree. So if the slope's going down and it's above the x, that means it's slowing down and it's about to come to a stop and turn.
Yeah. So it's also think about the velocity is positive and acceleration is negative because acceleration is the slope of that. So therefore, it's slowing down. Good job. 5. When does not define? Harmon. When is not defined? Yeah, sure. When's the acceleration not defined and where? 2 times where?
T equals 2 and T equals 5.
T equal to 2 equal to 5. Okay, Harmon feels really good about this because he's good at physics. Right? About to say. Okay. Number 6. Nicole? Number 6?
D.
Huh?
D.
D?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of the slope is -2.
Slope is -2. Good. Slope is -2. See that go down 2, right 3, go down 2, right 1? Very, very perfect. Because this is a velocity graph, right? If I take a slope, it's going to be acceleration. That's derivative. That was really fast. At what time a first graph first reach maximum speed? This is easy. This is just 5. That's no fun. Number 8. This is a good question. Furthest to the left. This is actually one of better question. Anthony?
Is it C?
Why C?
Because wait, should I go? Because C is when it's equal to because that after it's decreased, like the speed is negative the whole time. That means you're going all the way to the left because negative means you're going this way and positive is going this way. So it's been going this way for the longest amount of time.
Oh, and C is when
it reaches the x.
it turn around.
Yeah.
So we go left and then turn around.
Oh,
Yeah, so the furthest left is actually C. And you can actually find the area that curve, but it's just kind of hard to find. But if they are triangles, then you can find them, or trapezoid, you can find them, or circles. But yeah, you can actually find out how many distances. We're actually going to talk about that in terms of calculator. What time does it reach maximum speed? Asim?
B.
B, yeah, that's no fun question. T, the particle is speeding up. Jake?
I got E.
E is from where to where?
Uh,
Speeding up.
A to B and C to D.
A to B and then what?
C to D.
C to D. Yep, good. Two intervals. Good job. And the same thing is 11. According to the graph below, show statement what that's between B to C. What is B to C?
Wait, is that 13 or?
That's a 12. What do you think is the right answer, Harmon?
I disagree.
Wait,
12?
Yeah, 12.
12, I thought.
Did we skip one?
You got D?
12 B.
B is B correct?
Yeah.
Yep, it's a moving left,
I also put B inside.
right? It's moving left because B to C is below x-axis, moving left, and then it's at a decreasing speed because they are opposite signs. And then that was a perfect question. Use the information of what time is T part reverse the directions. I just see. Yeah, this is all pretty easy. They're not anything difficult. So I think the most difficult is a piecewise function. Piecewise function is gonna be, I think it's a phi t between 0 to 4 and 20 between 4 to 16, and then I don't know what the slope of that one. It's negative something. Yeah.
Could you explain B for me? Because it says B prime of 20 does not exist, but B prime of 20 does exist.
And when?
It does exist.
Find the value or explain it.
Oh, okay.
It does exist. But B prime of 4 doesn't exist.
Yeah, B prime of 4.
A
Yeah.
sharp turn.
Yeah, B prime of 4 doesn't exist. B prime of 20 does exist, and just finding the slope at point.
What was your explanation for B prime of 4 not existing B?
Because it's a sharp term, or the slope on the left does not, the acceleration, the B prime limit as x approach to 4 from the left side of V prime of t does not equal to limit x approach to 4 from the positive side of V prime of t. So they're not equal to the same value, therefore it does not exist.
I mean, if I say it's a sharp turn or a point with a sharp turn, so it can't have a slope.
Honestly, I don't see them say sharp turn. They have to use the limits,
Okay.
unfortunately. Because sharp turn is not really a math definition. Math definition is when it's not differentiable, is the left does not equal to the right. So you have to use the limits there. Okay, let's talk about a calculated question. So everybody get a calculator out.
I haven't tried my calculator.
My pencil broke me.
Your homework is gonna be one with no calculator and most of the questions with calculator. This one is gonna be kind of challenging. You can do this one last. This question is gonna be for the first time that you see a no calculator FRQ. So this one's kind of tough with your trick. Just trying to get as many points possible. We can go over Monday, but we're gonna go over the one that is this one here. Okay, so we're gonna erase all this crap. Okay. Okay, we're gonna teach you how to use calculator. The only things that I'm gonna teach you is how many of you guys have inspires? Okay. Luca and Anthony work together on Inspire. Who else at Inspire? Andrew and okay, so you might want to move on this side to work on Inspire. I know you want to stick with that group, and I like you in that group too, but I need you to work on Inspire. And anybody have TI-84? Raise your hand.
Oh no, I have TI-84. My bad.
Okay, 84. I can work with 84. So Luca can work with Andrew,
Hey, Luca.
That's cringe.
You can sit right there.
and Sim can work with Jake.
Oh, I gotta find my calculator first. I think it's sitting at the bottom.
I have both, but
Okay, I have daddy's money. My daddy's so much money.
I don't know what it is.
What's wrong with you? If I let $20,
You need to take that out for my dad.
Father, please, don't do this.
I want to take your house.
I got enough.
Put the arm button on your
Let's go.
We have a lot.
And I can do
All right, so shh. I'm gonna speak of a couple rules. And I'm gonna add additional part here. Fun. The furthest right between 0 to 3. Okay, so shh. We're gonna start with the question. We're gonna start a couple rules. The first rule is the calculator must be in Radian modes. It doesn't matter you use Inspire. It doesn't matter you use the thing. The problem of you guys, some of you guys in physics, so you must have probably using degrees. And once you use a degree, you didn't forget to change it back to mode, then you screw up the whole AP exam. So before the AP exam start, somebody in your class testing room gotta yell out, says change your calculator to radians, and then your test score will be disqualified, which is you sacrifice super greater good. I'm just kidding. Just do it before the test. So you don't sacrifice your test score.
You're on your own.
You're on your own. You can still get a 5 without calculator if you're really smart.
Mr. Gay Gods and like you'll bring it in.
No. You're on your own.
Do you know the doctor?
You can pay me lifetime Olive Garden. I might think about it.
And
Lifetime though.
lifetime Olive Garden?
Yeah, lifetime.
Well, would that be like 10 years? Oh,
You know Olive Garden has a pass.
it's called the pasta pass, yes.
Yeah, the pasta pass. Yeah, you gotta give me a pasta pass.
They're not doing pasta passes here. They got shot down by the CEO.
Easier for us.
My mom was the one who tried to do the pasta pass this year and they shot it down.
Yes.
It's so easy.
Thanks. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at these questions, and what we're gonna do is remember, if somebody have license, please give it to me, either Inspire or TI-84, because my thing is gonna be out of license
You can
date.
find a cracked one online.
Yeah, you could honestly just probably.
Really?
Yeah, you could probably pirate the app too.
Can you,
Yeah. On Monday, I'll get you a pirated TI-84 probably.
it has to be on the Mac version though.
Oh, it's gotta be Mac version? That might be hard.
Alright, yeah. If it's Mac, probably not.
You can't really pirate it.
All right. So shh. All right. Let's talk about rule number 1. Rule number 1, the calculator must be in radian. Rule number 2, the answer must be in 3 decimal places. So if you in physics or in chemistry, it's significant figure. But math is a lot easier. 3 decimal places. Don't worry about sig fig. Nobody care. Don't use trace. Don't ever use trace. Trace, that means you use a cursor to find your zeros. Don't use the cursor to find zeros. Using the zeros to find zeros, which is in the calculation button. So you can calculate the 0, max, mins. TI-84, if something that doesn't go along your way, you have something weird happen, you can always reset the calculator. However, if you're Andrew, you're probably going to lose your Pokemon. So second plus 712, that's how you reset your calculator. So a lot of times that if you take in statistic, if you take in physics, you can reset your calculator because if there's a stats plot, it's going to screw up your calculations. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that second plus 712, you can reset the whole calculator. So I'm going to show you. It's going to look like this. It's going to be second plus 712. And then, boom, run clear. Then there goes your Pokemon, just die.
Works, but yeah.
Okay, so so we're gonna answer a lot of questions here. So I want you guys to think about how to do the first part. And the reason why is you cannot take a natural log, derivative natural log yet because I haven't teach you. But that was great because I didn't teach you. Then you kind of need to rely on calculator to do it for you. So calculator is gonna do a better job than you do. No offense. They're just gonna do a better job than you because they are robots. So they're gonna do those simple tasks much easier than you can do. So what happened is, what do you have to do? Finding acceleration of a particle at t equal to 4. So how are you supposed to do that? How do you take a derivative on TI-84? Okay, I'm gonna do a slow version. So you guys are gonna pay attention. If you have TI-84, if you have TI-Inspire, you have to do it in F1 of X. And you have to graph it. And if you graph it, it's gonna be natural log. I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do it. You might have your own way to do it, but I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do it. It's safe for you most of the time. So I'm gonna graph this function. I click graph, it should come up with this nice graph here. What time we finish here? Okay, good. We have enough time. Okay, once you graph it, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the y function. Now pay attention, the question A and B. Do you see that it's pretty much repeated process because you want to find velocity and acceleration at t equal to 4. And this one only want to find acceleration t equal to 4. That's a 2 bird 1 stone. How do I take 2 bird 1 stone? I graph the derivative. How do I graph the derivative? You're gonna go to math. In your TI-Inspire is that square button, bunch of squares button, and then you're gonna click on the one says derivative, which is d to the d box over a box. So which is here is gonna be 8. It's gonna look something like this. Even on your Inspire, it's gonna look like this. And now here you're gonna put down an x. You're gonna put down an x, and you're gonna. Now here is the hard part. Is you don't want to retype this equation because I know you guys will type in the wrong thing. So you're gonna use a vars, y var function y1. For TI-Inspire, you just have to look for the tab to go to function 2. And then you're just gonna have to enter down to see the function 2. But here we're gonna just graph x equal to x. Why is x equal to x? That's gonna give you an expression. That means I'm graphing the expression of acceleration. So if you click graph it, it's gonna give you a 2 graph. And you're gonna be like, do I really need a 2 graph? Well, depend on the situation. In this case, I do, because I'm gonna do answer B, because if I answer B, I answer A at the same time. And how do I do 2 things at one stone? You're gonna do what? I will do table. The reason why I do table is gonna have 2 bird 1 stone. So this I'm gonna show you. If I do second here and I do graph, second graph is gonna give you 5. So I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna say A. Velocity is the second one, so I'm gonna say A4 is equal to 0.7143. And the B, I'm going to ask you a to the 4, which is the same. And I'm going to do B of 4, which is the first column. The first column is going to be 1.946. Hopefully you know how to round, but AP exam doesn't not penalize you if you don't know how you round your decimals. So that's actually good. Do you see that I get 2 birds, 1 stone? Using the table. Andrew, you need really need to know how to do it and put your switch away before I throw it out the window.
Okay.
Okay, you should be able to do table on your things. Yes, good. Now, what if I don't want a t equal to 4, I want a t equal to pi. You're like, how do I enter in pi? There is no pi here. But there is a way to do it. You can go to second and then window. The second window is going to give you a table set. And the table set is going to change the independent. You can change it to auto to ask. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do ask. When I do ask, I can ask any value I want to do. Hold on a second. I will ask any value I want to. I do the second table again. So now I'm going to ask, I'm going to type in pi. Pi is really weird. So we're located right here. Is second pi here. And I plus pi in there. Guess what? They give me 2 values. They give me 3.141516. So you can ask any value. You don't have to ask the integers. You can start with any value if you change independent to ask. Yes.
So like when we're at home doing this, is there gonna be a YouTube video on this?
I'm making a YouTube video right now, so you can try it. You can, if you feel lost, subscribe me, click like and comment.
I'm already subscribed.
Yeah.
I'm one of the ones that are like, I'm part of the Yay gang.
And supposedly Luca come up with new thumbnails, and Luca Xiang.
Did you like the one me and Scott made, the Sonic one?
I feel like if I put up there, I feel like I'm prostituting myself for views. That's exactly how I feel.
Is that not what YouTube is?
I lost all dignity at all costs. I have no shame after that.
No, like basically, we were like, it was like speed with all the underlines and the picture of him in a Sonic suit.
It's such an ugly face. To be granted, it's so ugly.
Wait, I think I have it.
It's so ugly. Okay, that's the answer for part C. Shh. Remember, all this is recorded, so you can always go back and watch it. If you not understand how to do something, you can watch. I will put that thumbnail on there. You can see it.
Why are we doing 3 point?
It's just because you can ask any value. So instead of asking you 1, 2, 3, 4, what if I ask you 2.75 and there's on table doesn't give you 2.75? So you can change that table set to independent to ask. So you can ask any values. So if I ask any value, I can ask that, say, 7.2. 7.2, then they will come out the value of here. They can know both values at the same time.
Why would we want 7.2 though? Or like,
What if the question asks you 7.2 and you don't have integers? So your table usually lists as integer unless you change the table setting. Now for me, I don't like to change the table setting. I'll just change the things like that. Andrew. Okay, so C, if I graph it, right? Now they say when the particle change direction. Now I would say don't use trace. If you use trace, you're gonna get a number that's wrong. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna graph it. Not only that, there's 2 functions, kind of confused. I'm gonna highlight those functions. Do you see this is a fill-in solid dots right here? And then I can go in and fill something. So I go left and I click enter. Guess what? That one's no longer fill in. So now I'm just graphing velocity equation. But it turns out I need a graph velocity equation. I don't need an acceleration equation. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click enter. And if you move right here, you see this one is not a graph. So when you graph, it's only in the blue line. And that blue line has a crossing the x-axis. So you can go in and you can zoom in. So you can zoom in here. And you're going to go here. And you're going to zoom in here in particular part right here. And once you zoom in, you say, oh, okay. I have this point. Now I'm just going to trace to find 0. The problem is the 0 is not in the right number. So I will not use trace. I will use second trace. Second trace is going to ask you for 0, which is 2. You're going to plus in 2 here. And you're going to say left side of this 0. This is 0. It's going across x-axis. You're going to press enter. You're going to go to the right side. You're going to press enter. And then you're going to press enter again. They're going to give you a really good value, x equal to 1. Where trace is going to give you 0.98, which is bad because you don't get credit. And you're going to find the other one is x equal to 2 because that's where they cross x-axis. If you do it again, it's where they cross x-axis, which is right here. Now, they say when the particle travel left, which is all below x-axis, which is 1 to 2. D. Now D is interesting. D says find the average acceleration. What's the formula for average acceleration? V of B minus V of A over B minus A, right? So therefore, when you say, wait, I hear we can using this screen. I'm going to show you how to do it. You can do it with Inspire, except it's going to be F1 of something. So Inspire is just pop out F1. It's very easy. But here you just use var, y function y1, and you're going to plug in 2. This is what happens if you plug in 2. The calculator is going to plug in 2 for you, which is much more easier. Minus var function y1. And you only have to check once how you type in the calculator. You have to check original equation. And you use this divided by 2. You're going to get an answer about 0.549 negative. So I don't have to type in the whole equation, which is the more time you type in the equation, the more mistake you're going to make. Just typing once, check it once. And then you don't have to go do it again. So be efficient. So a lot of time calculated question can be done in 3 minutes. They give you 15 minutes and you can get done in 3 minutes. And if you do it right, you just write down all the information. Therefore, negative 0.549. You're done. Part E. Now this is the part that you don't have on the paper. Part E says find total distance. How do I find total distance? Integral of what? Integral. But the problem is, what the hell is the integral sign, right? In TI-84, it's a little bit different. I don't know where the inspires is. I think there is probably something you can get it. But if I do it, it'll say between 0 to 5. And we're going to say between 0 to 5. So 0 to 5, then I'm going to do absolute value V of t dt. Even you don't have a calculator, you write down this part, you're going to get a credit. So that just say, Anthony forgot to bring his calculator. You're going to write down this, and you made up a number. And they just thought that you just don't know how to type in the key. Okay? But you pretend that you fake, you pretend, and other people are still going to give you credit. It's like, oh yeah, this kid knows what he's doing. Now, what you're going to do is, you're going to do math. And you're going to do integral. Now, between 0 to 5. Now, absolute value sign is right here. Remember this. Second, 0. The first thing on the top, or math, number. Second 0 is easier, I feel like. So I'm going to do it again. Second, 0, press enter. I have 2 absolute value now, so I'm going to go back to D1. And I'm going to var function y1. and dx here. Dx here, and then plus enter. And that's going to give you 5.11. 5.112, 3 decimal places. I'm so sorry. 3 decimal places. Don't forget that. Okay, one more question. I want to find out the furthest to the right between 0 to 3. Furthest to the right. So I'm going to graph it. So they say find out furthest to the right. And you got to find out where is it. Okay, find out the position, right? Well, this one doesn't have an initial position, so initial condition, so you don't have to worry about initial condition. If it asks you position, you must including initial conditions. Now, how do I include the initial condition? I just add it, all right? But we have to check a couple points. Furthest to the right is going to occur right here, between 0 to 3. It's going to be here. Also, there's one other place you need to check. Endpoints, good. But where's the endpoint? It's at 3, right? So we're going to say between 0 to 3. So we're going to do 0 and 3. But how do I do it? I'm going to do integral. But not only that, you can do it from this screen too. You're going to do second calc. And do you see that integral sign? It's pretty nice. They even graph for you. 7. And we're going to do between low limit is 0 and high limit is 1. And boom, they give you the value here. They say, remember we had to do endpoints, right? We had to do at 1, you're going to get 0.554. And at, we're going to check at 3, it's an endpoint. So I'm going to do again, second trace. And I'm going to do 7. Okay? For low bound, I'm going to between 0 to 3. And they're going to go all the way here. Lo and behold, 3 is actually better. 923. Now this is called a value or the position at furthest right, which is at 0.923. So the furthest to right, furthest right. This one is the relative maximum, but it's not the final. But of course, 0 is going to give you a 0 because initial condition 0 in this case. Now, I just go through every possible situation they can give it to you. The newer AP exam does involve with 2 particles instead of 1, so you have to be careful. The newer exam recently is being involved with 2 particles. You had to pay attention to particles. Okay? So that's pretty much the crash course of how to use a calculator. And I don't know how to use Inspire. Hopefully I can make another one. Maybe Andrew can make another one, same thing. But I need a license. I don't have a license for TI Inspire.
I'm gonna see if I can either find
I'm
you.
trying to hire one. I have a license. I can just let him use it. Yes. Oh, I got a.
Yeah, you just need.
This is the one he got, but you don't buy it. It doesn't matter. We use this. Look at it.
For air, bro.
Am I going too fast?
The license.
Is everything okay? Good? Okay.
And